Hi, what's up? So recently I woke up with the most money that I've ever had in my bank account. And there were a few things and insights that I wanted to share with you guys on how we actually got there. So to give you a before and after of what happened, before we used to focus a lot on just acquisition, just getting more and more clients. And we actually made more money by doing it differently. So we actually did 10 things that I thought might be helpful if you are kind of struggling with your client business and you're like, it's like you do a lot of work and in the end, like the bank account disagrees and doesn't show that you did that work and you didn't take that much money home. So 10 things we did to hit our highest profit ever. Like we have more money than we ever had in the bank account. Some things we did. So number one is we fired the sales team and started selling with text. Before we used to do a lot of the setter, closer, and calling people up. We used to run ads and we actually removed all of that because we realized that we didn't need it. When you understand the value of like having a really good offer and selling stuff with text, it allows you to sell even like really high, quote unquote, high ticket. We'll get deeper into that. You can sell higher ticket stuff just via text. You don't need someone on the phone to sell that. And which leads me to point number 2, which is pricing mechanisms. Using pricing mechanisms to increase LTV. I found out that the people who told me they didn't have money still got into $100,000 debts in college, right? Still put $50,000 in a mortgage for a house. So it wasn't really that they didn't have money. I just wasn't positioning my offer right because people are remarkably bad at thinking long term. You, me, everyone is. We are really short term focused, and when we see the money in the long term, it doesn't affect us as much as when we see the money in the short term. If it's too big, if like the money we show people at once is too big, there's a lot of resistance. Which is why when they're trying to sell you a house or they're trying to sell you into like college, they give you a shorter or a smaller now number. And that's what we started doing. We used actually weekly pricing and made it like really low, allow you to opt out whenever you wanted in order to increase LTV, because we understood that our prospect at rest tends to stay at rest, but our prospect in motion tends to continue in motion. So we gave out a smaller pricing in the beginning so that people would test out the value of the solution and then they would keep on going when they realized that the value wasn't already there. So the game wasn't so much in getting the big screenshots. I don't actually have any big screenshots to show. They're not that impressive, but we are okay with that because people stay for longer and the money is made in the recurring revenue, not at the one-time sale. Now, that wouldn't work without point number 3, which is focus on product. Because if we want people to stay, then we need to have a good product. The problem is people treat prospects like kings, but they treat clients as friends. I don't think about it that way. I think about it the other way. I treat clients like kings and treat prospects as friends, as in there are boundaries, right? With clients, of course there are boundaries, but I will give them more of my care. With prospects, they don't deserve that much care because, they haven't given me money. Clients deserve more of that. So I treat clients better. And before I didn't understand this, I used to treat it the opposite way and I didn't treat them as well as I should have. And then I wondered, why am I churning so many people out? I didn't make my product as good as I could make it. And then wondered, why are these people living? Did they not see the value in my solution? Turns out maybe my solution wasn't as good. So hard pill to swallow, but my product wasn't as good. I had to improve it in order to get people to actually stay. And we don't do any contracts. We don't do any agreements. We don't make people sign anything anymore. And we have found that churn actually went down. People actually stayed for longer because we focus on the metric that counts, which is how good is your stuff. 4, we replace value-based content for insight-based content. And I get a lot of pushback on this because people think you need to give out more value. And I think that they come from a place of good intentions, but not of good understanding. I don't believe in value-based content more than I believed in insight-based content. Because when you build an audience based just in value, you attract value seekers, which is okay, right? But the moment you stop giving out a bunch of value in tactics, then people get upset. And they're like, oh, he fell off. It's all washed down. And that's why I don't like it. And then, side note, they get kind of upset when you make an offer. Whereas when you replace it for insight-based content, you understand at the core what people actually want. People don't follow you for value. They follow you for insight. There's a bunch of value. Go to the MIT videos that they have, the 3-hour-long lectures they have uploaded on YouTube. They're there. They will give you a lot of value on how to code. But you're following insight, as in which niche? Which trend is going to go up, right? That's what you want. You don't really want value because value can bloat you a lot. If people give you a lot of value, then you get a lot of anxiety as well. Often when people give you a lot of value, you can get a lot of anxiety because you have so many tactics to go for. And then that paralyzes you. And you don't want your audience to be paralyzed. You want your audience to be moving and buying. Insight-based content allows you to get that movement. Because when you give someone one insight, that reveals that you have other insights. And to give you a tactical example of how this would work, a client that helps people get a tech job, he asked me, what's the difference between value and insight? And I said, value-driven content would be you giving people their template on how exactly to route their curriculum so they would get hired. That's value. That's them taking it and saying, thank you, let me try it. Not thank you, let me buy from you. Insight is a shade different, in which you don't give people the exact playbook. You give people something that will allow them to be on the right path to accomplish what they want. An example for the example I gave you for the client is tell people, recruiters don't really care about you being class president or how good your grades were. Recruiters actually care about you doing projects outside of what were required in the school. Actually, your passion projects, your side hustles, that's the thing you want to include in your curriculum, not just your best grades. That is an insight, right? It gives me that spark and it makes me curious. Curiosity drives sales, and that's what you want. You want to give people insight so they understand how the game works, because that reveals that you understand how a bigger portion of the game works as well. 5, cap spots. This was awesome because capping spots is so counterintuitive, because you think, well, what if I close more, right? What if more people want to get in? Am I leaving money on the table? And my personal experience is you're not. You're actually making more. Here's how this thing works. Often power goes to the most limited resource. So supply and demand, right? Let's say supply is unlimited, meaning there's coaches and consultants out there that if you ask them, how many clients can you take? They answer up to how much can you count, which is unlimited, right? So it's like as many clients as you can send me, I'll take them, right? That plays against you, because if you can take an unlimited amount of clients, that means that supply is unlimited and demand will be limited, meaning they have the power, because you can take as many clients as you damn well please. Then they understand that if they don't make a decision today, you will still be there tomorrow, because they are more scarce than you. I switched that dynamic by capping spots. Now I only take 10, right? How did I land on 10? And this is an important one. We don't want to cap spots because we think, well, what if I get more, right? That's a common one. And I had that too. But if you think about how much money do you want to make, let's say in a year, and you backtrack from that, you will get to a number of clients every month that you can take. And if you can commit to hitting that number consistently, that will relieve a lot of your anxiety, because anxiety doesn't come from you not hitting your goals. More anxiety comes from you not knowing what your goals are in the first place. So when you have that number that you know you just have to stick to, that gives you a lot of clarity and a lot of breathing room and space to know that whatever you do, just focus on that number. So for me, it was 10. I wanted to cap at 10 because that takes me to my goal of 100K profit every month hitting my account. This is post business partner, post taxes, post cost, this is post everything. This is 100K I can do whatever I want with at the end of the month. That is my goal. I found what that number was and I capped it at 10, right? 10 spots. And then that allows me to sell with more power, because I know that people have a reason to act now. And that gives me onto the next point, which is 6, give people a reason to act now with every offer. And this is, by the way, a good habit you want to get into as a marketer. You want to give people a reason to act. Why buy now? Why book now? Why click now? You want to give people reasons to do things now, because if they don't do it today, they never do it. Tomorrow doesn't exist. So I gave people a reason to act now with every offer. If I ran a workshop, I said the workshop's rising in price every day. If I ran a training, I said I'm taking this training down. If I was going to sell the recording, I was going to take it down on a certain day. I capped my spots so you can join whenever you want, because there is a chance that if you don't buy today, tomorrow there won't be any spots. So I just got used to giving people a reason to act now with every offer, which I didn't do before, because I thought as many clients as they want to come in, they can come in. The product is evergreen. It's unlimited. And I'm not a fan of that, because it rewards not taking action. Because if you launch something that's better in the future, people know that not taking action today is actually going to help them, because they know you're going to launch something later. Maybe a bundle, maybe you're going to do a discount, right? So it makes people very passive. It makes people wait. And if you give people a reason to act now, then they act now. And if you give people a reason to act now, then they're more incentivized to act now. 7 is I changed something about my offer every time I made it. So at the risk of sounding stupid, I couldn't come up with a better analogy for this, but I think offers are like pizzas, right? So pizzas are 95% the same, right? They have the dough, the cheese, and the sauce, but they change 5% of the topping every time. That's what makes the difference between a pepperoni pizza and a Hawaiian pizza. It's the same thing, just one has pepperoni and the other one has pineapple, right? It's the same thing. So I think the same way about offers. So I give people the same offer 95% of the time, but I change something about it. Because if there's one thing people love more than themselves, it's novelty. It's having something new. Every time when you include something new, this is why a new single, like that makes a huge deal, right? This is why you want to buy new clothes, even though you've seen that clothes in the store 1,000 times. That's why people buy the newest iPhone, even though it's the same damn thing every year, right? Because it's new. People love novelty. So every time I made an offer, I try to change something about it so that the gift would be the same, but the wrapping would be different. And therefore, it would look different in the prospect's eyes. And that's what allowed me to close more people. And that's what allowed my offers to look fresh and better every time. Because novelty is that little thing about the offer that if you look at it objectively, it doesn't increase the value of the offer. But if you look at it subjectively, you understand that people like novelty, that it massively increases the value of the offer because it looks new. 8. Sell cheap things so that people see value on your other things. A prospect at rest tends to stay at rest, but a prospect in motion tends to stay in motion. Before, I used to think I just have to give them the big thing, and that is all I sell. Now I think it was a mistake, because if I only sell the big thing, I'm asking them to move a lot from them being at rest. Now I'm a bigger fan of getting them to move a little before I make other offers. So I started selling a couple of workshops. I started selling lower ticket things, so that people could see and kind of be introduced to the way I do things and how I can help them. And then they would see the value on the bigger thing. That didn't happen so well with free, because then people wouldn't take it seriously. And that's the next point, which is 9. Don't give everything away for free. I think that making your free stuff better than everybody else's paid stuff, I think that is a myth. Because with paying comes commitment. With commitment, you take your things seriously. And when you take your thing seriously, you get the outcome you want. Free stuff doesn't have that same commitment, which is why you don't take it as serious. It's why you like the girl that gave you a little bit of resistance up front. It's why you celebrate more for the games that actually cost you to win than the ones that were easy to win. Because you want that kind of commitment. You want that kind of a little bit of a small pain so that the reward would be more meaningful. Nobody values free. And another example was I used to have this course that I thought was pretty solid on how to grow a Twitter account. What is it, X now? You know what I mean. So I had this course and I gave it away for free because I wanted to build goodwill. Some people consumed it. They thought, yeah, this was pretty solid. Cool. That was it. But then I gave it away for free and maybe like 5 people said, thanks. That was it. Then I charged $300 for it. And a lot of people said, this actually changed my life and it actually helped me. And a lot of people were really grateful and they took it seriously. And they still use it to this day. Like somebody 3 years after messaged me saying like, yo, can I still get access to this thing? Because I lost it, like, which was kind of cool. And it was the same thing, but I charged for one and for the other one I did because people don't value free. By putting a price tag to our work, we make people take our work more seriously. So why wouldn't you do that? And by the way, the people who tell you just give everything away for free, it works for them because they only take a maximum of like a dozen clients ever. For them, it works because they sell to the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. For you that are starting out and for you that you may be able to take up more clients, then that may not be the best strategy because if you give everything away for free, what are you going to charge for, bro? Doesn't really make sense to me. And the last one, don't leave offers up for an unlimited amount of time. I don't really like unlimited offers, as in you can sign up whenever, because unlimited offers have unlimited conversion windows. Not a fan. But limited offers have shorter conversion windows, which I'm a big fan of. So if you leave offers for an unlimited amount of time without changing anything about it, maybe capping spots, maybe raising prices or adding a bonus that other people won't get, then you make people wait. You make people stay for long. You make people kind of just wait around and lurk in the shadows without actually acting on anything. And you also want to kind of train your audience as in, hey, things go away here. Like sometimes when we do workshops, let's say they end on Monday, right? So on Monday, I will tell my VA, here's a landing page where it says, this offer is expired. change every link on every email to direct to that one, because I want to tell people that if you don't act here, then you don't get the things I have to offer. Because I like people to like kind of move. I like people to, if they have a solution, if they see that I have this solution, well then take action, bro, because that's just what's going to help you out. I don't like people waiting too much. That might be other people's game plan. I don't like it. Anyway, these are the 10 things we did to actually start getting people more. These are the 10 things we did that led to us making the most money we've ever made. Removing sales teams and selling with text, replacing value-based content for insight-based content, using pricing mechanisms to increase LTV, capping spots, giving people a reason to act now with every offer, change something about the offer every time you make it, sell cheap things so people see value on your other things, don't give everything away for free, focus on product above everything else, and don't leave offers up for an unlimited amount of time, because unlimited offers have unlimited conversion windows, but limited offers have short conversion windows. Thanks for watching. If you want more insights on how to close more clients at any follower account, go to likesandcash.com and join the newsletter where I'll send you a daily email and make you a daily offer so that you can get more clients. Bye.